Yesterday you were referring to Agni and to Rokus, and their reactions. And you said that some would react physically and some mentally. Like Rokus, who felt a bit mad and her strong reactions. And I would like to know what that means. What do they react to actually? What they react to?
It's the body and the mind, no, which react.
To what?
To a moment of ungrasping. You know, when there was so much tension and effort to grasp anything, which is removed at once, there can be, not necessarily, but there can be a reaction from the body and or the mind or both. Yeah, it's true.
So this is actually this phenomena which happens very often in satsang.
It's true. Yeah. And it is confused. The happening is confused from where it comes from. Yeah. This is essential to hear, to realize. Otherwise, it will be in the history of somebody one of those great or major experience, but it will be in the past when you speak of it. Into the trap.
No, this was clear. The last point, that one should not be mistaken, was clear. Only when you said a moment of not grasping, this was the thing which because somehow this came back many times already. And then I forgot it and now it came back again.
Let us ask the one, but I think it's I feel it. Doesn't want to. It's remarkable. Sometimes it is unnoticed. It's like that doesn't mean anything. Otherwise, she also had such a major outside reactions. Uma, in lack no time. For example.
But does this moment then have any value?
If it is mistaken, no.
And if it's not mistaken, if it's just
total value.
Please?
Total value. Oh, wow. If the mind doesn't own it, and you see the mind will not own it automatically because it's really like an automatism. The moment only I always say the same thing. I would like to say something else. Let us see. I would say when the decision of liberation has been total, it is very possible that the mind afterwards is not mentioned. It will not have any power. It's like the dip. You leave the bank of the river, you take a dip. And why you come back? Because you left your clothes or you have a program afterwards. You have nothing of that. So if you want liberation, Nothing will bring you back.
So in such a moment, everything is possible.
Everything is possible. Oh yes. It depends where it falls in your radical desire for it or not. Then it becomes an experience or it becomes nothing. Ever present.
This gives really a completely different view now. Now I can really more value that also.
And what confuses often a real interest, curiosity for total desire for liberation. Because if it is a curiosity, he will have the deep. Let's take back the example of the river. He will have the deep, he's curious, there is something there, he is attracted to. But it will be just a deep. So that's why when I hear often, I want liberation. Yes, okay, I don't deny you think so. But is it the total desire? This is the only, it's uncompromising, you see, realization. If it is not total, it will be dips.
Yeah. This
It's
means
already wonderful.
they would only satisfy their curiosity with
Yes,
that
yes,
it's-
yes, yes, yes. And then the mind makes it one of the measure curiosity, but it's something is fulfilled in the mind. It's not a real fulfillment, reality. It's amazing, huh?
But then somehow this decision is not made by somebody then.
Oh yes, it is made by somebody, because otherwise there is no search, no realization. In fact, there is no realization, isn't it? We speak of realization because somebody wants to realize. It is somebody who wants to get this moment of expression. It is a total nothing. One knows very much, very well, in split second, that nothing will bring it back. No curiosity, no other interest, even though the mind will continue with interest and all, but it is nothing in front of this. No, nothing. You can die for that, and it will be totally as beautiful as if you continue to live. You don't care, it's that you want and that's it. Because you have nothing more to fulfill, or you have no responsibility that you keep, that you have to, no duty which brings you back. Nothing. You want to be free. Because this thing of responsibility is also sword, double-edged. Delayed or not. I get that thing of responsibility. But it's double-edged sword, because I don't believe also, okay, no. You see, one should be so honest. One can say, okay, I want liberation, I leave everything behind. if you have responsibility in the world, because I run for it, and it is to escape. It's not for liberation. That will fail, you see. So I don't believe also, I don't say to anybody, live everything, I don't believe in that. And yet, it could be an excuse to delay. I have the duty, I'm responsible, so you see, it's double-edged. I cannot solve it by the mind, one has to, I don't know what to say. Because when my master asked me to leave everything behind, first of all, I was absolutely not ready for that. And I'm still happy it happened the way it happened. Not the way he wanted it happened. Because it would have given a wrong, absolutely wrong example. Absolutely wrong example that I don't want to perpetuate. It is traditional, those examples of detachment, leaving babies and family behind in the sake of... It's traditional. It is not true. And yet I say it's double-edged. It depends. You can always have excuses, and this one could be an excuse too, you see. And I didn't do that at that time. I did it in some time where the example would not have been bad. It's like that. No. It's up to everybody to like it or not.
Now, the following what you said, that one shouldn't want to get free because of something.
Exactly. Then it's conditioned again.
Ganga, from what's happened yesterday, well, I don't want to figure out, I don't want to go to the past, but it's still going on now. Huh? So when you ask me, speak from the place where you stay, and I can't answer you, because it was a big fear. Now I know why I was so fear and I was so upset. First, it was to again miss the time, huh? And also it was something else appear, because many times you say when this happen, you say it's that, and I couldn't answer you because it was almost impossible for me to say is that.
Oui, it's too much.
It's too much. So, I don't think it's a curiosity. I go to the curiosity to just have this experience. Because I don't know how I know it's my own nature. I don't know if I explain correctly this in English, you know. I don't know how I know this nature, but why I can't answer you. I don't understand why it's make me so. It's very difficult. I don't understand why I retain myself, you know.
Because of the fear to lose.
Yeah, well.
Because you know very well when one expresses itself, it is not that. And you, in the past, you've been deluded by the expression.
Yeah.
So the fear is there.
So how could I
Not be fearful. That's why I say, I don't say now, sometimes one can speak, of course. But don't fall into this compulsory silence because of the fear.
Yeah, yes.
That's what I want to tell you.
Yeah.
Don't force if you don't want today or whatever. He don't tell you on the spot to speak to me from there. But I just say, at some point, when you speak, because I know that fear is there. No, that fear is there. To remove that fear. But I don't tell you to remove.
But why I cannot tell you is that?
Because it's not yet that.
But what make me in that situation? I don't understand.
But why you want to understand?
No, I don't. No, when I say I don't understand, I know I don't have to understand.
You stir up, you see. You have not kept quiet.
Huh?
You have not kept quiet. You stir up your mind. I know. It's only that. And you see when the moment is there. If one doesn't keep quiet, it's because there is a dress left on the bank. Otherwise, he keeps quiet. There is some fear. Maybe simply the image that you don't go back to the bank. Only an image is enough, you know, which can give fear. Who knows?
I can tell you now, I can see, this fear is come from to lose the moment.
Yeah, but then you lose
again.
But you lose because you have the fear.
Yes, And so I'm turning around like this. It's crazy, you know.
But wait, now let's go back to very simple. You are already this.
Yeah.
So maybe there is no moment.
Yeah. Yes.
Yesterday when I described some of the things that happened, and you said, were you just quiet and observing? And I said, yes. So that brought about a consideration of quietness. And so at the beginning, with quietness, it was like either I was quiet or I was thinking. It seemed like that. And then there came different times. And while I was away, there was a particular thing that happened in regard to that, which was that whereas I would have at one time described it, I'm being quiet and I'm seeing what comes up. And then at one juncture it was almost like, well, I'm being quiet and things are just coming up. Then there was like the whole thing of quietness and observing and what came up. We're all revolving. It felt like revolving around a point. And then the point disappeared. So at that juncture, I couldn't say that I was being quiet in one way. And so then it looked like, well, quietness must include all of that. And then there was a thought that a question then, is quietness just for I?
If you remain an observer, it is I who is quiet, and that's why I can observe what's going on. Real quietness, it's a pointing out, it's another word to say that you have realized the nature of things. And there is no I. You can say, oh, I is there, but the identification is identification is not there. I hesitate sometimes to say real words because it's so beyond those descriptions. You see that sometimes it looks even strange to speak of, but it's still true, because if somebody is there to hear, those words have to be said. But in fact, even the word of identification looks like having no meaning. But it has to be said. If somebody feels still there is somebody there, at least at times. Yes. That's why you see, one cannot figure out what it is, even through perfect indications. So the meaning of the indications is to cut the mind or to remove something in the mind. One should not be so attached to the sentences, which could become a teaching, but then it's not working. Very much so. That's why some masters, they used koans, they used, because it's to cut the mind through. But then it's a way to do it. Oh.
From there is when very strong emotions come up, I'm not identified with them, but there's still something in my mind that says, oh yes you are.
The talk.
Yeah.
Actually it's no more the emotion but the talk now. Yeah. But also something will always go on. Some talk, some emotion, some... The thing is not to be impressed by the reality, the so-called reality of it, after all. Because something will always go on. Sometimes not, sometimes there is a real no mind, let's say, but it will be followed by some talk. That's true.
I was just thinking at something, wondering if I should bring it up. It's amazing that you asked me this moment.
You are not comfortable with something.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
When we talked the last time, you made it very clear, and I understood you well, that it's to myself that I have to say I'm not bound by emotions.
Yeah.
So what I notice, for example, since yesterday, when there are moments when strong emotions come, then there is a kind of, I'm not happy with the word inner dialogue, because something somehow happens where I see like this movement to go into it, and then it doesn't happen. But I also know that this is still one, it's like a vigilance, you know, it's still one step too much. So how to, so I know about that this is still a doing, but somehow it demystifies these emotions. So this is one thing.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
About this, I would say continue. Continue till it drops by itself. Yeah. Otherwise, you will be again washed away by emotions. It has to drop at some point. And the next.
Next moment, I don't know.
What puts you on this like that? Like that. Wow! Like that? What?
You see, if you can't keep really quiet, you have to do something. And that's the best doing, because it is undoing. It is undoing. It is the best doing. You could, of course, I could tell you, but why don't you just keep quiet? But you have to hear it, isn't it? If you cannot hear it totally, this is the best undoing. I was in very strong emotions when
Just come there because I don't see your face.
I was in a very strong emotions when, let's say, this happened to me. I was in very strong emotions. Don't think I was simply ripe and quiet. It became so quiet that it was it. No. I was in very strong emotions. And that somehow made me decide to, do I want this again, a new cycle, or not? Because this one knows, after all, after so many satsang, one knows it, no? It brings. And so I took the stick that the master gave, that sentence. He said, no, I've even forgotten the sentence, but I took one sentence,
Après, je vais le remettre.
which was the stick. And that was it. So, any moment is good. One is never ready. One is never ready. Any moment. Were illusory, but it was you can't help, no? Very strong, so you can have knowledge and yet you feel like it's there. So that's not realization. That's true.
Strong emotions as when it happened.
Just before. I speak of a happening, but I didn't confuse happening. Okay, but it's just to express because I may be wrong, but it may be a help also to know or it can happen. I don't know.
So this happening is this, let's say, the split second of realizing you are. Then there was the split second.
I was in a list of emotions, and because of that, my decision to see all my life always in boundaries was so unbearable that I decided, no, once for all, I want to be free, and I took a stick, a word, something of my master, and I went along with it, and it just, as far as I remember. In my mind, it happened that way. No, this is not it. But in my mind, it happened that way. But it's just to tell you that one may don't think you can be ready. In that way, it may be a help. It can be in totally different ways for somebody else.
No, I had this question anyway in my mind somehow. To say this, somehow I'm stuck with this split second of realization. That this split second.
Good if you were stuck.
Yeah.
That would be a good new expression. I'm stuck with a split second. I love it. I should have found it. I love it.
To say that this happens still to somebody, so it means there is somebody. Yeah, then there is the split second, and
If you speak in the history of things, of course, it's still a last, let's say, memory or jerk of the mind, of course. But that's why this has not to be confused for you.
and then the split second is this moment. Okay, you realize your true nature, and
Realization. You realize.
yeah,
Believe
and then this somebody to whom this split second actually happened it's gone. Yeah?
The identification, the believe that somebody is real. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Yes. There must
Where
be something.
in this, where when you took the stick,
Before the split second.
before the stick,
But you are farther than me because you are fixed on the split second. Stuck, yeah, you were stuck. You are stuck on the split second. So you are really one step quiet. And then oh my god, I think I should not speak of this event because it becomes
Mais ça, il ne faut pas y aller. Hein. C'est pas vrai.
stuck, still stuck in the split second.
I don't know.
Yeah, you want to be
There was
careful
some
that. But it's
confusion.
good.
Yeah.
It's gone or there's something? Elle est comme ça. Go back to what? Yeah. This was, you want clarity about that, so I answer. It's good to go back to one soul difficulty. A finger which points you to what you desire, to liberation. It is a precious life. You know, you never know. It's like a life on earth. You never know when it can happen. Or where. It is a precious life. So that creates, if you don't forget, of course one forgets, but at times he has to remember to create that urge. After all, it's not for nothing. When I will again meet you, you know. So I have to take this benefit completely. It's true. You never know. Really. I really wonder, I tell you, where I would have gone after my master passed away. I don't see anybody. And probably I would have taken one, but still, it's not that, it's rare, it is rare. So the benefit of this life, of this time, I know the life is very attractive and beautiful, but it's still to prefer this. Otherwise it doesn't work. You cannot love both the beauty of the life and the beauty of liberation. You cannot. It's like that. one of the two, then accept. Okay, I have a life with deep
And I cannot go always when I do it. Cannot.
It's
Otherwise I go well.
I don't know, I know this, I feel it, and that's why I try everything to be here. And that's why I'm also very many times I'm so desperate that, you know, and okay, since some days, I don't know, something happened during satsang, something, and the last 2-3 days, it's so nice, yeah, and I know at the same time that it's not it. It is
But
for
don't
me.
disturb
It's
it.
like a,
don't disturb
it's
it.
like a nice change to, you know.
Don't disturb it.
Otherwise I go outside. And you cannot. I said. Okay, I go outside.
And at the same time, as you say also, many times I have here to land there, you know, don't land neither, you know,
Land a bit.
a bit.
To remove your refresh.
No, this
I
was,
say welcome. No, but you know also, I say welcome. But when it goes, no. Anyway, it was just a state.
yeah,
That's all. I don't say also to boycott it and always nya nya nya. Don't trouble it. Because it has its own actions. Although everything has its own action, it removes the identity, it removes so much of the past. Know what it is. What is realization? Everything is there, but you don't confuse your what things are.
you said also that many times someone believes that if he has a dip, he thinks that's more real than if you don't have it. And for me, it's this: if I'm in my usual state, suffering, blah blah blah. I think this is or was more real to me than like.
It's a taste. It's like you approach a rose, you see, and then you have the perfume. There's some taste there, some direction. So of course, it looks more real. That's why I say don't reject it also. You will love more that direction, you see, than the other direction. And then if you love it totally one day, that's realization. So, welcome. Well done. Welcome.
So you said more or less as long as we have dresses on the bench of the river, we will only have dips.
Yes.
So is it of any help that as long as one cannot just naturally and really keep quiet, then if the person keeps quiet, it's not to follow everything what the mind offers, is it of
It's a dress. Then the yogis we see, and the monks, they have quite detached, quite a quiet life, and it's more or less true that they are quiet and that they see the life flowing on them. They have all this, but it's still not that. Huh? They attain some quiet observation, and it's not even 100%.
And another thing, when you spoke recently about this moment, you said yourself that you didn't want to fall back into another circle and again start the whole thing. You were very determined because of your uncomfortable circumstances. So somehow you were more determined because of your. So,
Well, here it was, there were many things, but yeah.
But before you said that one shouldn't want freedom because of to escape from worldly life.
Oh, but of course we want freedom to escape suffering.
But you have to forget it then maybe, or because you said then it will be conditional.
That is unavoidable. You see, if you are somebody, what to say? Yes, I understand your point about the conditioning. When I say conditioning, I mean more practices. It cannot be caused by a practice or by... Because it's unavoidable. You will not search liberation if you were so happy. Often it's because you are not satisfied in the depth. Then let's keep that condition. It's a good matter. You see, if you don't want liberation, then what? You have to want. I have not heard at any time that someone without any of that, something like fire. I have not
But
heard.
Ramana, did he have any?
Ramana. You know, Ramana, he comes from a background of Brahmin, very religious. He knew all the scriptures and all that, don't think. He doesn't come out of the blue, a boy from the West goes, plays at school and so on. I mean, he has such a background. So, of course, he must have loved the stories of liberated ones. Of course. This is the context, it was like this. Oh, yeah. Give examples, I'm sure that it doesn't happen when he developed love. Maybe he didn't run after it because of suffering, but he developed love for it. I'm sure he loved it.
It was because of suffering. He had a tremendous fear of death. It was with the cause.
Before.
Yeah, he had a tremendous fear of death, and that's why he started inquiry. And it was with the cause. And that's why he had to keep quiet, I think, because his realization was with the cause.
With a
Running away from the fear of death. And I think that's why he had to work with Arunachala.
Akarja tépni a könyvet.
Yes, there is always. Tu vas peut-être allumer là, dans la véranda. When the fire is so much, you don't care if there is a cause or not. You want to be free. I tell you, cause or not.
Yeah, I mean, this Buddha meant is that actually you forget the cause.
It's a urge.